Okay, I have a linear function table here, an xy table, and I am asked to find from the table the slope, y-intercept, and an equation for this line here that's represented in this table. Each one of these xy pairs, ordered pairs, represents a point on my line, and again I know that's going to be a linear equation. And the reason I know this is because we can see that there's a constant rate of change in both the x and the y. So right here we go 1 to 2 plus 1, 2 to 3 plus 1 again, 3 to 4 plus 1 again. So each time we're adding 1 on the x's. While we're adding those 1s on the x's, meanwhile we are adding 3 on the y's. We increase by 3 from 2 to 5, again from 5 to 8, and again from 8 to 11. Each time we're adding 3. Each time we're adding 3 here. So we know again that it's a linear, the linear function table, or it's a linear graph, because we are increasing at a steady rate. We're adding 1 on the x's, adding 3 on the y's. So now we can use that information to find the slope, the y-intercept, and then write an equation for that line. One way is to note, you could notice this rate of change here and speculate what your y-intercept would be. You know that if to find your y-intercept, x has to equal 0. So if we imagine another column here, and where x equals 0, you could figure out what y would equal. Alright, so since 0 to 1, again, is plus 1, or you can think about it from 1 to 0 is minus 1. If you went from 2, and you kept that rate of change, now you're minusing 3, subtracting 3, instead of adding 3, because you're going this way, you're going to the left instead of the right. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So just looking at the xy table, you know that if x equals 0, using these rate of change rules that we established already, if x equals 0, then y would have to equal negative 1 in order to satisfy these rate of change numbers that we found earlier. So that's one way. So that way we would know that the y-intercept is negative 1. When x equals 0, y equals negative 1. Then we can find the slope just by looking at the numbers in our table. So remember, slope equals the change in y over the change in x. Alright, so we already talked about what the change in y is. The change in y is 3, the change in x is 1. We could plug in our numbers to check. Pick any two x values with any two corresponding y values. So let's do 2 minus 1, sorry, y first, 5 minus 2, and then 2 minus 1 on bottom. 5 minus 2 is 3, 2 minus 1 is 1. Our slope equal to 3 over 1, or 3. So if we know that our slope equals 3, and our y-intercept is negative 1, we can write the equation using that. So we get y equals mx plus b. M is slope, b is y-intercept. So our equation would be y equals 3x minus 1. That is a lot of work. The other way we can do this problem is by making a graph from the points that we were given. So we're going to use this xy table to make a graph. So I'm going to graph some of the points here. So we have x1, y2. So let's put that on the graph. x1, y2. There's a point there. x2, y5. x over 2, up 5. x3, y 8. 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, now let's make our line from those points. And again, we found these points just by using the xy coordinates that were given to us in this xy function table. So here we have 3 points. We can figure out the slope from our 3 points, but can we figure out the b? We need both of those things in order to be able to write our y equals mx plus b equation. Okay, so to find the slope, we use rise over run. So from any 2 points here, let's go up 1, 2, 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 1, 2, 3 over 1. So we know our slope is equal to 3 over 1. We can see that in the points that we graphed. But how do we know where our line will cross the y-intercept? We could draw a line connecting the 3 points. If you can see, it's hard to tell exactly where it crosses the y-axis. It looks like somewhere around -1. One way you can check is by using the slope of the line that you found. If your slope is 3 over 1, you know that you can go also down 1, 2, 3, and then over 1. Right? You have a point here as well. That's right on the y-axis. To check your work, our slope is 3 over 1, so up 1, 2, 3, over 1. This point works. Alright, so your line crosses the y-axis right at -1. So your slope is 3 over 1, or 3, and your y-axis is -1. Sorry, your y-intercept. So therefore our equation equals y equals 3x minus 1. Same thing we got here. Okay, this method we just used the information from the xy table. This method we actually graphed the line and got our information that way. Either way works, either way is fine, whatever is comfortable for you. And that's how you find the slope, y-intercept, and write an equation given an xy table.